Why are our children backing away from God and the church? Have y'all ever questioned that? A lot of times we don't question that because a lot of us haven't even realized that it's happening. Because we got in church and we got in the Word and we got saved, we got Spirit-filled, and we got our breakthrough and we got our miracle and we got our healing. And all the time while we was worshiping and praising, our children was tipping out the back door. And we didn't even know it. Next slide, please. Why are our children backing away from God and the church? Did you know only 2 in 10 Americans under 30 believe attending a church is important or worthwhile? This is an all-time low. Because, all of us, you remember, all of us, we grew up in church and we went to church with mama, my dear, and we, we did our church thing, and, when we passed by the church, when we was doing something we ain't got no business, we stopped doing it, passed by the church, and we did it again. Y'all remember that? I ain't the only one that did that. Be riding, have my music loud, smoking blunt, get past the church, put my music on mute, put that blunt in the ashtray. Pass by the church. Yeah. I'm the only one. No, y'all always been saved. Y'all always been saved. All right. 59% of millennials raised in a church have dropped out. That's crazy, right? 35% of millennials have an anti-church stance, believing the church does more harm than good. Did y'all know that? This is what's going on among our young people. This is how they feel about church. Millennials are the least likely age group of anyone to attend church by far. Hadn't y'all realized it's just us in there? In the little bitty children. But the millennials? Next slide, please. Look at him. That's one of the millennials. He look cool, huh? He ain't at church. Go ahead, next slide. So what's happening? A Pew Research Center documents that over 60% of millennials say that Christianity is judgmental. Now, how many of y'all can agree with that? Y'all remember growing up in church. Y'all remember when y'all was little, when y'all was in church, and they said that, women can't wear pants. Women can't, if you miss Sunday, they gonna call you out. You know what I'm saying? If a female get pregnant out of wedlock, they gonna bring her in front of the church and make her apologize, and everybody gonna shame her and blame her. Some churches put the girl out. Y'all remember that? You remember that stuff happened. You remember how we get saved and we want to condemn everybody, put everybody in hell? Y'all need to get saved. You're going to hell. Oh, I'm the only one that did that when I first got saved? Okay. In ministry circles, it has long been reported that of youth raised in homes that were to some degree Christian, roughly 3/4 will jettison that faith after high school. Look at that word, jettison. Y'all know what that word means? That word jettison means to drop. It's like we don't need this. It's kind of like, you remember whenever the Apostle Paul, whenever they was in the ship, you know what I'm saying? And they told, Paul told them that, hey, look, a storm coming, but everybody going to be all right if we abide in the ship. And you remember they began to throw all the cargo off? What they was doing was they needed that stuff, but they threw it off because they felt like throwing it off was going to lighten the ship so that they can survive. That's what jettison means. I'm getting this off and I'm dropping it off. Or a plane going by and they dropping something, they, boom, letting it go. That's what's happening with people when it comes to church. They get about high school, they letting it go. Just under half of this number will return to some level of church involvement in their late 20s or early 30s. He said just half of that number going to return back. So where the rest of them going? That's the question. You want to know where they're going? they becoming Black Hebrew Israelites and a part of the conscious movement. And they woke now. And they on Facebook telling you how you lost because you still going to church. And how you following the Europeans' religion. And telling you all that stuff. And they are anti-God, anti-church, atheists. They don't believe in God no more. This was happening. Next slide, please. Well, why? Why is this happening, LP? Why? The breakdown of the family. Everybody say family. It has long been recognized that experience with an earthly father deeply informs the perspective about the heavenly Father. And how the West really lost God. This is a book. Psychologist Mary Eberstadt correctly asserts the fortunes of religion rise or fall with the state of the family. Next slide. A survey in the USA found father to be highly influential in church attendance. Where my father's at? Where my father's at? Where my father's at? You be the man, bro. You be the man. You be the man. Next slide. Watch this. If a child, this is a study. This is a study that showed this. If a child in the family is first to follow Christ and attend church, there is a 3.5% probability everyone else in the household will follow. If the mother is the first to follow Christ and attend church, there is a 17% probability everyone else in the household will follow. Let's stop right there. Now, we all grew up in a situation where mama and grandma and my dear, they was in the church. They was going to church. They read the Bible. They taught everybody how to pray. They taught everybody everything about God. People needed counsel. They went to my dear. They went to mama. Right? Question. Why we wasn't going to our daddy? What was Papa? Okay, when Papa was there, did we go to him to get counsel about the Lord? Why? So as a result, it was only a 17% chance that everybody in the house was going to follow. And think about, everybody grew up with mama that was in the church. Why everybody else ain't following behind mama? Only 17%. Now look at this last one. If the father is the first to follow Christ and attend church, there is a 93% probability that everyone else in the household will follow. If daddy get that relationship with the Lord and he attends church, 93% of the time, everybody else in the house gonna get on board. So fathers, you hold the key. You hold the key. You hold the key. Fellas, look at me. You hold the key. Continue to follow God and walk with God for the sake of your family.